So I've been at CES all week. Haven't seen the car. Please start. Starts right up. Of course, I need to put gas. That was a good move. Filling up is something I feel like I'm always doing with this car. So today's video was originally supposed to be about this, installing vinyls on the fog lights, which is actually kind of boring. So instead, I'm going to be going over the 5 things that I love about this car. There's more than 5, but these are kind of the 5 that I've really appreciated over the last few months that I've had it. So this here is my 2014 B8.5 Audi S4. It's Estoril blue in color, and it has pretty much everything that I would want in a car. I absolutely love it. I've kind of gone over everything in a previous video, but there are things that I love more than others. There are also things that I don't really like, and that's, in a future video to come, so stay tuned for that. But here are the 5 things that I just absolutely love. The engine with the S4 is a very easy thing to be very happy about, but for me, more specifically, what I love about this engine is the supercharger. So it's a V6 supercharged engine, 333 horsepower, around 300 torque. So it's very fast, it's very powerful. What I love about the supercharger is that it has that instant power. I came from a turbo setup in my Mazda Speed 3, and while that is super fun, and it's just like, it's great. I love the way it sounds, the way it feels. You didn't really get power until 4,000 RPM. That's not the case with a supercharger, and I love the setup here. When I was originally looking at the S4 to get, one of the biggest competitors was the 335i, and that is a twin turbo setup. And I wouldn't say that there's a ton of lag in that car, but you definitely feel that there's a turbo there. With the supercharger, it just feels like a normal, naturally aspirated engine, and I really enjoy that. You get all that power, but none of the downsides. Going somewhat hand in hand with the engine is the transmission. It's a dual clutch transmission in the car that I have. You could also get in a manual, but I decided to go this route because I had a manual in my Speed 3. And I just wanted to try something new, especially living in Southern California. There's traffic everywhere, and I just don't really want to deal with a manual. I do somewhat miss having a manual. I like that control, but I have 0 complaints with the DSG in the Audi S4. It's very fast. That dual clutch does its job well, so you go between shifts like almost instantly. Of course, it's not as fast as something like a PDK, but I've never driven those, so I don't really care because I don't know the difference. It's fast and it is responsive. Also, having the paddles to go into your own manual mode actually kind of gives me that sensation that I'm in control. It's not quite as much as using a clutch and putting it into gear, but it's better than just being an automatic. If it was just an automatic, I would have hated it by now, but the fact that I still have manual control really kind of takes all the negatives away from me, and I love the transmission in the S4. For the next one, it is definitely the steering wheel. Now, you don't really think about the steering wheel that much, but it plays a very important role when it comes to driving. And I love the one that's in here, mainly because it's a flat bottom. So that, you would think it'd be kind of weird, but the moment I started using it, I love it. It gives you more space underneath the wheel for your legs and everything. And I just like the way it feels when you turn the wheel. I just like it. It also has all the buttons that I need. The only one it doesn't have is like a forward-backward track for the music, but I don't really use that feature because I usually just control everything on my phone, so it's not a big deal to me, but it has pretty much everything else. You have voice controls, volume controls, mode controls, all that stuff, and it has paddles so I can control everything manually. Overall, I just love the wheel in this car. Fit and finish. This is something I didn't really consider in a car until I got this one, but this has excellent fit and finish. It feels really well made. Whether you're, driving on the highway or just pushing buttons on the dash, you don't feel like anything is chintzy or made with cheap materials. It just feels like it's well engineered. You don't hear any rattles or buzzing coming from the car, which is now something that I'm going to look for in future cars that I purchase. This is definitely going to be a must. Now, lastly is just the overall design. I've always been a fan of Audi's design, kind of that starkness. It's very German. There's no frills. It's nothing crazy. It's just like you get what you get, and I've always liked that. But I think the B8.5 Audi S4 is probably one of their best designs ever. It's kind of, I don't want to call it iconic, but you kind of know that it is an Audi, and this is like the definitive Audi design. I think it's a well-proportioned car, especially if you look at like the A5 or S5. To me, this car looks way better than that. Having 4 doors is definitely a must with this design. And of course, you have cues like the headlights. You can't mistake those for anything other than Audi. And with this particular car, I love the color choice I have, the Estoril blue. It's just more unique than a gray or a silver or a black. I love the color, and overall, just the design of the car is something I love. So those are my top 5, but before we end this video, I want to do what I actually originally planned, and that was install the vinyls on the fog lights. Now interestingly, I only ordered the fog lights, but it came with the headlight ones as well. I'm not going to do those, but I have a feeling at some point I'm going to put them on just for fun and see what they look like. So let's go install this. So first off, got my Winx, got to clean off the fog lights. I'll do that with my microfiber. The part I can't mess up. Gotta put that here. All right, wish me luck. Gotta put them on both sides and show you how it looks. As I somewhat suspected, they sent me the wrong ones. They don't fit. So yeah, gotta send these back. Good thing I didn't make the entire video about this. All right, I'm gonna send those back. Hopefully they get back. But yeah, those are my top 5 favorite things I love about the S4. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments if you want to know what my 5 things that I don't like are. Until next time, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Again, my name is Matt, and I'll see you in my next video. See ya!